In 1 to 2 weeks, everyone will be affected by this. Have you ever heard the saying, adversity makes you smarter? Well, Robert Kiyosaki definitely believes it does, and he's got a point. But here's the thing, adversity doesn't just make you smarter, it makes you a better leader too. And let's face it, with everything going on in the world right now, we need all the good leaders we can get. But some adversities are way bigger than we can handle, and according to the legend Robert Kiyosaki, the catastrophe is looming in the darkness. But what is coming? Will everyone be affected? Stay tuned till the end of the video to find out all the answers about the imminent danger. With that said, let's start. Robert Kiyosaki isn't just blowing smoke. He's got proof to back up what he's saying. He's been talking about the biggest stock market crash in history for a while now, and guess what? It's here. He's calling it the everything bubble, and he's predicting that everything is going to come crashing down. That might seem scary to most people, but Robert sees it as an opportunity. When things crash, everything goes on sale, and that's when you can really make some money. But Robert isn't just focused on making money. He's also concerned about the lack of leadership in the world right now. Europe is in trouble, China is in trouble, Japan is in serious trouble, and the United States isn't exactly in the best shape either. We need leaders who can step up and guide us through these tough times, but unfortunately, we're not seeing a lot of that right now. Robert isn't trying to be political either. He's not a Republican or a Democrat, he's just someone who cares about the state of the world. He's not afraid to speak his mind about what he sees as a lack of leadership in the government either. How can they open the borders? How can they cut off the Keystone XL pipeline? How can they blame other countries for our problems? It's frustrating to say the least. But here's the good news. You can be a leader too. This is the time for all of us to step up and show what we're made of. We need more leaders and we need them now. Don't let the tough times get you down. Use them as an opportunity to grow and become a better leader. After all, as President John F. Kennedy said, leadership and learning go hand in hand. He's saying that the worst-case scenario for America is not just a market crash or a recession, it's a civil war. And he's not just talking about some far-off possibility either. He thinks it's a real danger that could happen any time now. He's also saying that we need new leaders. The ones we have now aren't cutting it, and the situation is only getting worse. We're already in a ton of debt, and the more money we print to try and fix things, the deeper we sink. It's like a vicious cycle of debt and social welfare that's only going to end in disaster. But that's not even the worst part. Apparently, someone is intentionally trying to bring America down, and they're doing a damn good job of it too. Interest rates are going up and we're heading straight into a recession. And if that weren't bad enough, there's some kind of video of Trump warning about Russia cutting off power to Germany. What the hell is going on here? But Kiyosaki's not one to sit around and wait for things to happen. He knows that the more dangerous the mission, the better you have to be. He talks about how, when he was preparing to go to Vietnam as a Marine helicopter gunship pilot, his life expectancy was only 30 days. But instead of being discouraged, he used it as motivation to become a better pilot. So in a way, Kiyosaki is trying to inspire us to be better too, to prepare ourselves for the worst and be ready to face whatever comes our way, because if we don't, we might not make it out alive. Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki knows a thing or two about the stock market. He says that when it crashes, it goes down in 3 phases, which he calls the boom, boom, boom phase. First, there's a bear market rally, and then the market continues to go down. But here's the thing. Kiyosaki hopes the market crashes because that's when he gets richer. He says if you're afraid of a crash, it's because you've been fed bad advice by your parents, teachers, or professors. Kiyosaki believes that when times are tough, we have to be even smarter. He tells a story about he wanted to be an entrepreneur like his rich dad, but he didn't know how to sell. His rich dad told him to take sales lessons and real estate courses, and that's exactly what Kiyosaki did. He learned how to sell and became a successful entrepreneur. Kiyosaki says that this time is different and we're in a new economy. We just came out of the longest bull run in history, which started in 2011. Kiyosaki made a fortune during the 2011 real estate crash, and he believes that the young kids saying this time it's different are wrong. The Federal Reserve Bank plays a big role in the economy, but Kiyosaki doesn't think we should just do what they say. He calls Janet Yellen, Biden, and Powell the Three Stooges, and he believes that if Powell channels Volcker, it could lead to disaster. Kiyosaki has made more money in the last 3 years than he has in his entire life thanks to his knowledge of the stock market. He knows that history tells us there's never been a soft landing, and he's ready to take advantage of the next crash. He's talking about investing and how people are relying on Powell to save their butts. But get this, the reverse repo market is running at a whopping $2 trillion a day. That's insane. And yet people are still listening to Powell like he's some kind of financial advisor. Kiyosaki himself doesn't own any stocks, mutual funds, or ETFs. He doesn't even touch a paper, bro. But he's not saying you shouldn't invest in those things. He just thinks people have been brainwashed by the Fed and the Treasury. Kiyosaki's been around the block, man. He's seen communism at work, and it ain't pretty. And when they passed the 401k in 1974, he knew they were funneling his generation, the boomers, into the stock market, and they didn't know anything about money. That's when he saw the biggest exodus of school teachers becoming financial planners. Scary stuff, man. Today, we have baby boomers hoping the stock market stays up under their 401k as Social Security goes bust, but Kiyosaki thinks that's no accident. He's just a dumbass Marine lieutenant who flew a gunship and went down 3 times, but he's still listening to all those idiots. They're telling us not to fight the Fed and to just invest in a long-term, well-diversified portfolio of stocks, mutual funds, and ETFs, but Kiyosaki's not buying it. He's got 13,000 apartment houses, bro, and every time the Fed drops the interest rates, the value of his properties goes up. He's even improved them and refinanced so he owns no money in any of his properties. But here's the kicker, man. When the market crashed in 2011, he just started pumping money to save a bad economy. And now we're going to pay the price for it. Crazy, right? Robert is all about using debt to make money, and he's got some pretty convincing arguments. He says he used debt to rehab 13,000 apartments and just kept buying more with the cash flow. And when interest rates dropped, he refinanced and kept building his empire. But you know these people who are all about living debt-free? Kiyosaki says that's just their opinion, and he doesn't buy into it. He never flips houses because of the tax consequences, but he does finance out tax-free money to invest in real estate. And since he gets appreciation, depreciation, and amortization, he basically zeroes out his cost of money, and his tax on debt is zero. That means he can use it to offset taxes on his income. But get this, when Biden took the Keystone XL pipeline off, Kiyosaki's oil prices skyrocketed. He's got oil wells and gets tax breaks for them because he's a wildcatter. And he's all about investing in opportunities, not just stocks and bonds. He said there's more opportunities today than ever before, but you gotta be careful to who you listen to. Because here's the thing, the best asset and your biggest liability are the ideas in your head. So if you're being brainwashed into going to school, getting a job, paying taxes, and living debt-free, you might be missing out on some serious opportunities. Sure, there might be bubbles and risks, but Kiyosaki believes that's where the real money is, so don't be afraid to think outside the box and take a few risks. And that's all for now. Hit like to show your support for our work. Also, keep in mind to press the bell icon and subscribe to the channel to never miss any updates from us. We'll be right back in the next video. Thanks for watching.